Theo because you know, I'm particularly. Let me see.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Okay, this is louder. Okay. Okay, so basically, like when it comes to Street Fighter, or basically really any fighting game, really though, but you know, Street Fighter is like a lot of people just consider it like a jab and grab, and you know, if you're on like if you're just not paying attention to how the game mechanics are, then you probably will lose to stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But like you'll notice when let me see, am I set to block or is it auto? Okay, so like I'm gonna set to block first. I gotta set their action to guard all. Just give me a second. Auto, is that it? No, random, random. Can I set it to guard all? Always, yeah, guard always. Okay. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate. Like, okay, like let's say I hit them with like. Usually people try to do the jab and grab. Usually after like one. See, like right there, if you don't notice that, like right there, I jabbed one time, I blocked it. I'm already out of range. I'm out of range after one. So like the push block, unless you're in the corner. Even in the corner, it's gonna push me away. But there is that carry grab, so you gotta be careful. Like, see, like even though I normally like I'm normally away, but you see what I did right there. Each character has like a car. They call it a Kara grab, Kara. You have to look up each character. This is only well, and Ken could do it in Street Fighter 4, and Sagat could also do it with his Tiger uppercut and Tiger knee and Tiger fireball projectile. He could even do it in Street Fighter 5, which I don't. I honestly think they should take that out of the game entirely. The Kara uppercut and the Kara fireball, that should be removed entirely. You know, he could throw a fireball, he could uppercut, but he can't. You know, because what happens basically is that you neutral jump his low projectile, which is basically exactly what you're supposed to do, or match it, right? And what happens is he counter Tiger uppercuts when you neutral jump or just does forward hard kick. You know what I'm saying? To hit you out of the air when you do a, you know what I'm saying? But like if you time it correctly, he won't. I'm pretty sure he can't hit you with that. But like if I don't know, like I said, he has like such a good standing hard kick. You know what I'm saying? I wish they changed the angle of his standing hard kick so it wasn't like an anti-air. It was just like an in your face, kind of way lower. But I honestly I think they should remove that. But like the point I'm trying to make is like when you see players like once you block their offense, you're already out of grab range. Like even if I try to counter here, if I do two, I'm out of it. Like you see how I move forward when I grab. You see how I'm like slightly moving forward when I do it correctly? You saw how I kind of like almost like I went from like being completely out of range or looking like I was completely out of range to like basically grabbing you. So like you got to be careful because the high level third strike players are using that. Ryu, I mean, honestly has one of the worst ones in the game. I mean, it's usable. I've used it in ranked and it's worked for me, but you know, there's characters that have way better ones. Like Chun-Li has one of the best ones in the game, no doubt about it. So like what I'm saying is like normally if you don't know about that, you're gonna be out of range like off of one grab. See, like I hit him with one light or low, light punch or light kick, and I'm already low. But the thing what you have to look for when you see that they're gonna go for that grab, what I look for is the fact that they're walking forward. When I see like let's say I see them do one light kick or one crouching light kick or light punch or standing light punch. If I see them do one and I see their character move forward after that, I'm already assuming that they're probably going to go for the grab. So I prepare to throw break. A lot of players, like a lot of intermediate and beginner players, their mistake is that when they get put in that throw situation, they panic and they try to throw an attack out. And what happens is that if I do this, like especially on hit, like if I land a crouching jab and you think I'm gonna go for a grab afterwards, and you try to do like a crouching light kick as a counter, which normally is the right thing to do. Like if you block, like if you block my crouching, if you block the thing with with this game is like that is true. Like right there, like most players, if they let go and try to, they'll probably mistime that light kick to counter me. So most players block that first three because you can usually get three. You know what I'm saying? And which is when you could usually let me try to explain. It's a little bit easier if I explain with the see, I put guard always. Let me put just none. Auto. Because I practice with auto guard. Auto just means that you know, is for me it's the best way to practice in Street Fighter or any fighting game, because what will happen is if they get hit by the first attack, you can combo them. But if you miss the combination, the computer's automatically going to block the second hit. So it's a good way to know if you're landing your combos properly or not. So like, what I'm saying is this: like, if I do crouching jab, I catch him with crouching jab. Before you can hit me with that crouching light kick or crouching jab to keep me away from doing a grab, if you try to do any of those attacks, crouching medium kick, anything like that, I'll be able to grab you. There is like a few exceptions to that rule, but obviously at the highest level, I should be looking for that. Like if, like, let's say for example, I do crouching jab and you're good enough, like let's say before I get to that grab, to uppercut me, like especially in the older games, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the older games. Now you can't really do that anymore. Now you basically have to prepare to throw break, which is the right way the game should be. You know what I'm saying? So like what happens is anytime you attack your opponent, there's a thing called push block. And push block just means that usually it pushes your opponent away from you, but in the corner, it pushes you away from your opponent. But it still kind of gives you a better understanding of what range you're at. I like to have my opponent cornered because I know that like no matter what strike I do to them, I'm basically within still striking range. Like after I do 1, 2, 3, like now that puts me way farther. See, like if I do 2, I already know like when I land that's automatic. If you're playing Ryu, honestly, if you're not that familiar with like playing, they call them Shoto characters. This is basically Ryu and Ken and Akuma. Even though Sagat is very similar and Dudley is very similar, they don't really consider them to be Shoto characters. But like basically Ryu and Ken, if you're like just starting out at fighting games and like you're really not that good, or like you're just getting like started with like understanding how like to use special moves and supers and stuff, honestly, I recommend using Ken instead of Ryu. Ryu is way harder to use at the highest level and way harder to win with at the highest level. I know this as like one of the few good Ryu players in Third Strike, probably the best of all time, no doubt about it. Is that like, see, like right there, when I land that jab or any crouching, like if I land that first one, you can escape that throw though. But the problem is, if you escape that throw, you can jump out of that throw. That's the wrong thing to do. I see a lot of players in Street Fighter 6 doing it. I saw a lot of players in Street Fighter 5 do it. They would get so scared of getting thrown that they would jump in the air away from me or neutral jump and try to catch me, which I believe is wrong because you should not get countered for trying to throw your opponent. The proper way to stop someone from throwing you is to escape their throw, and that's by throwing at within the same window of opportunity that the game mechanics give you to escape the throw. Once they activate a throw, you'll know that the throw has been activated. You have a brief window of opportunity to escape it and get out of it. You have to throw within that window of opportunity, otherwise you get thrown. That's the proper way to escape the situation. What happens is that a lot of players, they'll neutral jump. Let me put it. Jump like. See? You know what I'm saying? It leaves them open to like me doing this. Let's see. I'm trying to catch you. Like, it just leaves them open to, like, me basically putting them in a super situation that's pretty hard to parry. Alright, hold on. Try to keep missing it, it's fast. Like, that's a bad example, but... Like, basically, like, right there, like, unless they're real good at that, of parrying, like, I could basically put them in a super uppercut setup right there. Like, I could even go even easier than that. Like, I can go crouching hard punch. They can't even counter me, like... I'm doing it probably a little too late. You're supposed to be able to, but that's the point I'm trying to make. A lot of players, like, they'll do that, and like what I basically look for is what I'm playing. Like when I see them start to move forward, I assume that they're probably going to go for the grab, so I prepare to throw break in that situation. Usually I'm crouch blocking because it's way easier to get hit by. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I was out of range for that because I normally pick Super R1. See, the reason why that's so why you'll see a lot of players crouch blocking is that, especially when they have super, crouching light kick does not seem like it's that dangerous at the very start of the match. But by like the second round, maybe like the middle of the second round, or unless the player's real good like me, he'll get the super within the first round. Obviously, a real high level player is probably not going to use the super in the first round, especially considering the fact that they're probably winning the first round already, considering the fact that they already have super, probably even before their opponent. So, like, when you're already on the verge of winning, you're probably not going to spend all your meter just to win a round, unless for whatever reason, your opponent has figured a way to turn the tables on you, and he starts about to take away your win, and you're like, okay, I have an opportunity to use this super, and I'm going to get the win right here, and just cash it in as a victory and just try to do it all over again in the second round. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what basically happens is that this has always been a pretty tricky game, but this is why I'm explaining the proper way to go about it is never neutral. Like I said, in Street Fighter 6, the way it is, I complained about it, but I regret complaining about it because I think players should be able to go for grabs. It's what makes this game as offensive as it is, basically offensive as it is offensively. It's what makes the game, like, basically without the throw. I've always said that the overheads, except for third strike, have been way too easy to block. So, like, basically what I mean is, like, if you're crouch blocking, let's say I'm crouch blocking, right? Like, he catch me, okay, so I eat an overhead right there. That's like maybe, 10% damage, maybe 15% damage. You do take more damage when you're crouching as well. So you also have to keep that in mind. So, like, you don't want to get hit with so many overheads that you lose the round either. And I believe, I'm not 100% positive of that. I'm pretty sure if you block reuse overhead, I would have to set that up. I really don't feel like doing that, but I'm pretty sure if you block reuse overhead and try to do like super after it, I think he's able to block. I'm not 100% positive on that. I wish they would redo third strike where you can super cancel the overheads. I think that would make Elena a way better character if she could super cancel Brave Dance off of any of her overheads. I honestly put her in the top 3 of the game, no doubt about it. If she could do that. There's a lot of characters I think would be like far, like Hugo is another prime example. If he could super cancel that overhead, he easily becomes one of the best characters in the game for sure. No. Let's see. Let's see. I keep messing that one up. I keep messing that. Damn it. I used to be able to do it. Well, that was the point of the video. I was just trying to, like, a lot of people are like, oh, Street Fighter, you just grab, and I used to be able to do that consistently. Like, when I was at the best at third strike, I have to do it faster, man. Maybe it's a small character, because it's a smaller character. Oh my god, I'm so whack. I know you can... I'm so whack. Oh, okay, there it is. You could sidestep kick that. I guess I was getting fancy with it. You can combo that. You can only combo EX uppercut after that forward hard booger. I love that one. Very unlikely in the highest level though. Oh my god, I used to be able to do air spin kick off of that. Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is that you should just prepare for the throw break. Hopefully, I really look forward to the game that Seth Killian's making about the League of Legends. I never played League of Legends a day in my life, but the fact that he's making the game, I know he really cares. He's a video game developer, and he really cares about like what the fighting game community like to make good fighting games. You know what I'm saying, that really make sense and are fun. And I really anticipate like this is going to be one of the classic fighting games, that people come back and play over and over again for sure. Like I already saw the visuals of it and I was like, wow, this looks amazing. Like I said, I hope he's listening to my videos and basically like, I hope he's listening to my videos and listening to my suggestions on, how to make Street Fighter better. I thought it was a big mistake them getting rid of Seth Killian because, he's a true like tournament player that like actually happened to be a computer programmer as well. Like you can't ask for a better person at Capcom. Like that's exactly what you want working at Capcom. Like he and a bunch of other guys are the ones that created the big Evolution tournament that's considered like the best fighting game tournament in the in North America. You know what I'm saying? Like he created that. Like all these people winning these big tournaments and qualifying at these big tournaments is basically because of guys like him that started it on the West Coast. And like they wanted to prove who the best really was so they could shut everyone up. And they started doing it, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I've in my last few videos, I've explained like my suggestions on what I honestly think, should be like, the how they can alter Street Fighter a little bit more. I think beginner players have a tough time, like probably not with modern controls, but like just capitalizing off of like what I mean is like doing that, like crouching medium kick into uppercut. But like also keeping in mind, like they have to understand that like when you're at this range, when you're at like this range, like crouching medium kick uppercut is no longer an option. So it's like very combo specific. Like Street Fighter is like, it's combo based, but it's also, all fighting games are basically based off of like your ranges and stuff, like landing your attacks, whether they block it or not, and understanding what is, what is an attack that you should go for in that situation. Like if in this situation, a lot of Ryu players, they beginner Ryu players, like they kind of even forget that that's like so important, that crouching medium kick fireball. Like if I try, like, let's see, you saw that, right? That's why I was trying to explain that situation, is that when I'm at max distance of crouching medium kick, my uppercut is no longer viable there. It will be out of range and I'll miss and I'll get countered. And at the highest level, that might be the difference between winning and losing. So, like, knowing your character's specific combo range is crucial to winning at the highest level. Like, I'm saying this as a long-time high-level player. Like, I'm saying I did take winning in Street Fighter and fighting games seriously. Probably Street Fighter more than anything else. I only recently started getting into Mortal Kombat with Mortal Kombat 11. Like I said, I was very disappointed with Mortal Kombat 1, not only in the graphics, but just how they stepped so far away from the beautiful decision making of Mortal Kombat 11. Like everything was almost picture perfect, except for the two characters that did not have to combo their command grab. Because if you look at like Kano and Jax, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, they had to combo their command grab, and every other character that had it. But for whatever reason, like Rambo did not have to do that. And there was a lot of Rambo players that were straight ass, did not deserve to win, and were winning. And I don't like that. If he's good enough to beat me, like he's legitimately like talented and he's capitalizing on offense and he's doing the right moves at the right time, I respect that as a high level player. But when I see a player just hoping for the best and seeing if it works out and he wins because the game is just not properly done, you know what I'm saying? I can't stand that. Like, that's so stupid to me. Like, in Tekken, I hate how in Tekken 7, it looked like the opponent stayed in the air way longer. I don't know why they changed that in Tekken 8. I really did not like that. Another thing I don't like about Tekken is that, correct me if I'm wrong, when an opponent is crouching, they avoid all grabs. That's crazy. Because going for a grab in a fighting game is just part of fighting games. If you take that away from a fighting game, it becomes very, especially in Street Fighter. That's why I really did not like Ultra Street Fighter 2, although I did love that they added Violent Ken with the exception of his stance being completely wrong from SVC Chaos, where he had the correct stance, the way he's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Capcom, you would think Capcom would notice that, but they didn't, obviously. They did get the colors right, but they didn't get the stance correct. Another thing about it, I did love that they added Evil Ryu as well. Those three characters easily the best in the entire game. Akuma obviously should be banned, especially against charge characters, unless, which is not even guaranteed that you have super, because that's the only way you're going to get out of that situation. I know that as a talented DJ player in HD Remix, that the only way out of that Akuma loop where he catches you with that instant air fireball into the Raging Demon setup, the only way out of that is if you do a super. You know what I'm saying? You cannot get out of that. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot get out of that without super. What was I going to say? He's banned from tournaments anyway, so don't even worry about even learning that. I'm just saying that as a general, like, it should not even be like that. They should have gave him a regular super. Instead of a super grab, like Raging Demon, they should have just gave him his ground pound or his, like, uppercut super. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he's just too good with the Raging Demon. Like I said, basically. All right, let's see. Yeah, like I said, basically that's the situation that a lot of beginner players struggle with. Is like they get scared of the throw setup. So like they'll try to press buttons to stop you like on block. Like let's say like they block my I do crouching light punch, right? But what they don't know is at a high level, at the same time I'm buffering, I'm doing the crouching light punch, I can be buffering the uppercut behind that. So what happens is if you try to press a button after that, I can basically get a free uppercut on you. You know what I'm saying? So like these are like high level tactics that the best players are using. They don't teach you about this kind of stuff, probably because they don't want you beating them. But these are effective tactics. Like the only way it really works in Street Fighter 6 is if you're using meter. That's the only difference between Street Fighter 6 and, let's say, for example, Hyper Fighting, which I still think is the best Street Fighter of all time. With the exception of Third Strike. For me, it's a tie for first. I say Third Strike and Hyper Fighting are the best Street Fighters of all time. No doubt about it. I did like Alpha 3. I did not like that you could air block in it. I think Zangief's Street Fighter 6 air grab super, the double quarter circle forward. I use hard kick.